Charlie from the OrthoBalance team. What we're going to look at today and what we're going to share with you is some of our footage from our GoPro of our activities at the Lake District, and in particular the Langdale Pikes.
Yeah, it'll show stuff of us going climbing, walking, gill scrambling, and just wild swimming, just a load of different things.
Yeah, basically what we like to do in the Lake District, and also what we're going to be talking about here is what we actually get out of doing those activities, why we like them, and what keeps us going back every year doing that activity.
Different benefits that they have.
Yeah, and also why it's massively increasing in popularity is getting outside into nature, doing these sort of outdoor activities and skills. So all the footage that we're going to share with you today is from our GoPro from one of our favourite places, the Langdale Pikes in the Lake District, and in particular a stickle gill or mill gill.
Because Dennis started going there about 40 years ago, who then showed it to Christopher, whom you've been going for about
I've been
10
going
years.
about 10 years, then Charlotte started coming probably about 8 years ago. And basically it's a class as a grade 1 scramble in this book. It's Scrambles and Easy Climbs in the Lake District, which I got from a friend who lent me this book, but who's probably never going to get it back. So shout out to Joe McDonald, thanks Joe. And in the book, it's stickle gill is classed as a grade 1 scramble. So it's not the hardest of scrambles, but for us it gives us a really good
it's just enough.
Yeah, it gives us a good playground for all of the things that we like to do, which, like we said, is moving over the slippy rocks, going into cold water, basically gill scrambling and following the path up. So there is a path that goes all the way to, and where it leads you up to is Pavey Ark or Harrison Stickle, and you get a stickle gill at the top basically after you've went up the climb. But if you choose to go on the scramble, then you come across slippy rocks, going over logs, rock pools, which we do like to go in.
Yeah, we like to have a little swim in there.
Charlotte in particular, she's never out of the rock pools. So as I say, what we're going to talk about is a little bit about why we actually like to do that sort of thing, because within OrthoBalance we like to do natural movement, and when you're in somewhere like this scrambling environment, you all of the time have to be moving as naturally as possible, because every rock could move, every rock could slip, and actually we have a saying, don't we? Mm-hmm. It's almost like the running joke that, you know, someone shouts, "Oh, there's a slippy rock there." It's like, yeah, they're all slippy, because every time you put your foot down, you can't rely on it not being slippy or not moving. Mm-hmm. So as well as being good physical exercise and natural movement, it also keeps your brain and mind switched on in the here and now, right to where you are, because you have to focus on it.
You need to be alert the whole time you're there, really.
Absolutely, you can't switch off for a second, or else that could be when you're going to slip. So that's one of the reasons that we actually enjoy it. It's a good physical workout, but also mentally, it's almost a good switch off, really, because you've got to be alert to what you're doing.
You have to focus on just that. You can't be thinking about any other problems you've got going on. That is what you're focusing on. Absolutely.
And when we, in between going to the lakes, we try and go every year to maintain the movements that we need to be there, balance, coordination, flexibility, that sort of thing. We've got a range of things that we do at home, but one of the things is climbing. So we go up the climbing walls, but obviously with the lockdown we couldn't get there. And fortunately enough, again going back probably 8-9 years, we had this climbing wall built, so we come on here often to learn the movements and maintain the strength and the ability and agility to be able to go to the lakes.
So we're always ready for when we do want to go.
And again, climbing's the same. So say you're on a hold, you can't be thinking about something else, so you have to be present there in the here and now, which helps. It's almost like a form of meditation, but while you're moving. So rather than sitting and trying to not think of anything, when you're doing one of these activities, which is almost like not life-threatening, but you've got to be aware, because if you slip, you could hurt yourself.
Yeah.
So it's almost like a way of focusing your mind on what it is that you're doing at the time, to keep you mentally focused on that, which is a good mental switch off, really. So to move over the terrain that we look at when we're in the gill, we started off. I mean, my dad used to go in boots, thick soled boots, and then eventually we tried different shoes, and then eventually we came across the Vibrams, the 5-fingered Vibrams, which basically you put your foot in and each toe is separate, very thin.
Like a glove for your feet.
Pretty much like a glove, literally just enough to cover the foot so you don't sort of get cut or damage the skin, but basically allow the foot to move as naturally as possible, basically.
Yeah.
So when you're putting your foot on a rock, it can change shape, it can get like the maximum amount of surface coverage on the rock, which help you not slip and
gives
stay
you just
on the
that
rock.
little bit better grip.
It does make a big difference. If we're not in them and we're sort of moving, another one of the things that we do like to use is the Vivo barefoot boots, which again are wider sole, thinner soles than you would find a traditional boot, which allow the foot to work more naturally, basically. So that's one of the. I mean, they're an old pair. I've had them probably going back about 10 years. Yeah, they're a bit worse for wear than boots, but we do have a new pair. But they're it's either the Vivo barefoots or the Vibrams usually that we're in, which allow your foot to shape change over the different terrains, slippy rocks, slippy tree roots, and change shape over there, and give you a lot more grip. So that's one of the things that we really do choose to use for that. One of the things that we really like to do, and it gives us the opportunity when we're in the lakes, is to go into the cold water like fully submerged. When we're walking, we tend to have our feet in the water, and the Vibrams are good for that because they do dry quick.
Yeah, they're quick drying and they do give you that little bit extra grip when you're in there.
But when we go fully submerged, we'd like to go in just with our skimps on, basically. So shorts or bikini, that sort of thing. And part of the reason for that is because you want to submerge yourself in the cold water for the physical well-being, and Wim Hof's one of the main people promoting cold water swimming, cold showers, for the physical benefits of reducing inflammation in the body, mainly because when you get inflammation in the body, you can cause all sorts of nerve irritation, joint irritation. So by reducing the inflammation in the body, that can really help to settle things physically, and also other health benefits as well. But mentally, there's some doctors even prescribing cold water swimming now for people with anxiety and depression, because it helps to balance out all of the chemicals in the body as well.
You do really feel good after you've done it.
Yeah, I mean, it gives you a buzz at the time.
It gives you a real rush.
And again, it sort of switches you off to anything outside. All you've got to think about is the cold water. And Wim Hof, when I went on his course, again, that was going back about 7 or 8 years, he uses the cold water as a means for meditation, basically. When you go in the cold water and you find the place in your mind and you can relax into it, that you're not cold anymore, that's the same place that he says you should be using for your meditation practice, or whatever you would like to call it, you relaxing. So you're sort of making that connection in your brain to being able to go to that place, and that's where the brain is relaxed. So use it as a means to develop that place. So you don't always have to use the cold water, but it is good fun.
Yeah, you've got that skill to be able to use it.
Yeah, and if not, it is really brilliant fun. It's one of Charlotte's favourite things to go in the water. Even when you first came, you never out the water. So we go in the water as part of the regular thing of going up there. And it's a really good mental switch off, as well as the benefits, which is cold water swimming's making a big. Yeah,
it's becoming really big now.
Really, really popular. We're part of a group that go down at Seaton as well, the Brass Monkey swimmers. Fortunately, we live near the sea, so we can go in the sea daily or however often we want. But the lakes is one of those places. It's just, I prefer the rivers to going in than the sea.
Without the sand.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not a sand lover, but yeah, the lakes, it just gives us that opportunity to be able to move more naturally. Basically, I mean, you can go to the gym, you can go for a run, that sort of thing. But when you're moving over that terrain, it makes you move in a different way than any other
like you
terrain
can't get
offers.
it anywhere else.
No, and that's what keeps us going back to be able to do that again, because really, our bodies aren't designed to sit for long hours in cars or at computer desks or posturally looking at mobile phones. So the more we can start to promote and get more people doing this sort of movement. I mean, and again, it's quite popular now. We see lots of groups of kids going up doing gill scrambling,
Yeah, a lot.
jumping in the water, and they find it brilliant. It's always really good fun for them. But as I say, when we can't get to the lakes, we love to go to the climbing walls. Unfortunately, we've got a couple near that Charlotte used to work at. Was a climbing instructor.
Yeah,
Durham Climbing Centre, and I mean, you can probably say one of the things when children start moving that way, you can see the difference from when they come in to
100%. You can see how they progress, even in just a short few weeks.
And it gives you more confidence.
Yeah,
it improves your movement. One of the things as well that climbing gives you is all 4 limbs are moving at the same time, so it helps to improve your brain integration. So we look at one side of the brain feeding one side of the body, other side of the brain feeding the opposite side of the body. So anything that we can do that involves all 4 limbs in what we call cross pattern movements, that helps to build brain integration, proprioception, coordination, all of the things that we don't get the opportunity to do when we're just walking on a flat surface on modern terrain. So even the barefoot boots, as good as they are, wider fitting, thinner sole, you need to be on a natural terrain for them to get the benefits. Because when you are on that natural terrain, you've got uneven surfaces, different shaped surfaces that help to stimulate the reflex points in the feet, which relate to the body. So you've got the reflexology points that relate to the body. And also it helps to stimulate the muscles in the arches of the feet. We've got 3 arches in the feet. And the more that we can stimulate those muscles, keep them posturally switched on, that helps support the rest of the body posturally as well. So it helps to support, obviously, the feet are the platform where the body sits. So if the muscles in the feet are working well, that gives good support to the knees, the hips, the lower spine, and right up through the body. So it's a whole lifestyle really of learning just a couple of things that the more you can get your body moving. But that's the main things that we get out of going to the Landale Pikes is the physical stimulation of moving naturally and those benefits, switching on the brain,
and then the mental
benefits of just being a brilliant switch off. Not switch off in a sense that you're not thinking about anything, but that you're that focused on
the now,
what you're doing, the now, the here and now. It really focuses you down to where you are, what you're doing, which I haven't found anything else that sort of gives you that same feeling, as well as going in a rock pool, as well as the physical and mental aspects of feeling better. Actually being out in nature, because of all of those reasons of stimulating the feet and movement and brain patterns and mental stimulation, it actually really helps to improve overall general well-being. I think because of the lockdown especially, we all found being locked down inside is not good for us physically or mentally. So the more that we can, and there's been a big surge of people because of that wanting to get outside, camping, hiking, walking, cold swimming, that sort of thing. And there's actually a therapy called Shinrin Yoku, which is translates in Japanese as the art of immersing yourself in nature. And what was found was spending time in nature, particularly around trees. Trees give off something called phytoncides, which when we breathe in helps us stimulate our immune system, which is a major something that we all need to be aware of now. I think we've realised helps us stimulate the immune system to produce something called NK cells, or natural killer cells, which help to fight off infections, bacterial infections, diseases and cancers as well. So the study of Shinrin Yoku was really again getting quite popular because people are looking at how and why getting out into nature makes us feel good. Most of us know a walk along the beach or a walk through a forest or a walk in nature makes us feel good, but we don't necessarily know
when you
why.
say you're going for a walk to clear your head.
And even the act of walking, we're using this gait pattern movement. So one arm's you working with the opposite leg, that's integrating the brain patterns. So a lot of the time if you've got a problem and you go for a walk, or particularly I would rather go for a climb, but a walk helps to make the 2 hemispheres of the brain talk to each other and helps to clear your head, or you come to a resolution of the problem. So it's all this stuff is coming down into how to stay well physically, mentally, and looking after ourselves basically.
Yeah.
So yeah.